You've seen a lot from James here in a little over half a season. Is it to a point where anything surprises you anymore about what he does?
No, like I said, for me, as long as he's on time, I mean, he'll hit the ball hard, and he's really starting to get his foot down. He's getting comfortable in the box. He's seeing pitches, he's getting good pitches to hit, and he's hitting them hard.
Because the first homer was on the fastball and the second one was on a curveball, also both on first pitches. What do you make of his ability to turn on those first pitches, and also how is he able to make the adjustment?
He's just ready to hit right from the first pitch, which is awesome. The other thing too that it shouldn't go unnoticed is the way he plays the game. Right, he hits a ground ball, a fairly routine ground ball. He beats it out for a hit. I mean, the kid plays the game the right way. I love it. I mean, if that doesn't motivate you as a teammate, then I don't know what will. But he goes out there, he wants to play the game, plays the game to win.
What did you think of the walk between the two home runs?
It was good. I mean, like I said, he's I don't know how fair is he really doesn't like the DH. I think today was okay because he sat by the heater. But he likes to be on the field. He likes to be engaged all the time. So, but he picked us up right away early, which we needed, and gave us an early lead. And then the guys took off after that.
For you, when you take a step back, what's the significance of him not just doing this at any point in his career, but like 90 games into his career?
No, he's like I said, he's totally engaged when it comes to hitting. He has a plan every time he goes up there, every at bat. And he understands the strike zone. He really does. I mean, and he continues to get better.
You mentioned, I remember last year when you guys were considering calling up, you were talking about making sure he could really hit lefties and being in the lineup every day. What do you see from how he's approached facing?
Who's that?
James, how he's approached
facing
lefties.
He's once again, he could stay in the middle of the field. He doesn't try to do a whole lot, and with that approach, it allows him to stay in against left-handed pitchers, which is great.
You talked about his teammates being able to feed off him. I'm sure it's different feeding off of his energy versus someone else's. Can you describe what that does to a dugout?
His energy is different because he just goes out there and like I said, when he swings the bat, when he's running the bases, all that, you watch him and he plays the game the right way. So it's awesome. He leads by example. And I know the guys appreciate that. So, but when he does that, or when he does the things he's capable of doing, man, it really does motivate the rest of the guys to go out there and just compete. And it's a lot of fun to watch.
For James to have home runs in back-to-back games, teams can make adjustments, right, from game to game. So for him to do this against the same opponent, what does that say about how he's able to counter a team's adjustments to him?
Yeah, I mean, once again, he's prepared every day. He watches video on opposing pitchers, and he's ready to hit early. So if he gets a football in the strike zone early, he's ready to hit. And he's been doing really well.
For Lord to get off to that really good start, a quick first inning, striking out with Connie to start off, do you think that did anything to kind of give him a little boost, understanding the circumstances he was in tonight?
I hope. I mean, he's one of the best hitters in the game. But he was, the biggest thing was, as I said before, when he's throwing strikes, it's a good thing. And today he didn't shy away from the strike zone. I mean, he was, I know he walked a couple guys early. Hickey went, made a great mound visit, got him back in the strike zone, and then he attacked the strike zone, which was awesome.
I think your relievers struck out 15 as a whole. What do you make of just those young guys? I know Bush's excluded, but the other three guys and how they're really.
Yeah, look, I keep saying, especially the young guys, we cannot walk away from the strike zone. I mean, hey, we know they have a bat. We know they're all good hitters. But when you fall behind, they become really, really good hitters. So we got to attack the strike zone. We got to get ahead early, and make pitches. And today they did that. I'm proud of all those guys because, going into this game not knowing what was going to happen, they all stepped up. Robalta gave us a bunch of innings, a bunch of pitches. Lord threw 55 pitches, and then Rutledge came in and finished. Poche was sick, and he went out there and gave us 3 big outs for us. So it was a good day for our relievers.
What's wrong with Poche?
He just had flu. Yeah. So he's been going through it for a few days.
What were you seeing from Robalta that he was able to stay in the game as long as he did?
Yeah, his ability just to stay in the zone, and he was getting big outs, the whole 3 innings. So It looks good. You know, we talked to him in spring training about he's got to be the guy that gives us multiple innings. He goes out there, you know, he's another guy that's really quiet. He just goes out there and tries to get outs for us. So he did a good job today.
What did you?
Were you not allowed to challenge the drop and pop up?
No, it's not challengeable. I mean, they got together. They deemed that he intentionally dropped the ball. I won't say much more about that.
What
What's
did
your
you?
thought of the winning a series to the Dodgers?
Excuse me?
What's your thought of winning a series
Oh,
to the
it's,
Dodgers?
look, we got one more game, right? So let's try to finish up strong. But awesome. You know, I love the way we're playing. As I always say, you know, I'm not overly concerned about who we play. I worry about my team and how we play. The first 2 games we played really well. You know, we're throwing strikes, we're swinging bats well, we're running the bases well, we're playing good defense. You know,
What did you see in Jacob Young's at bats today?
better, a lot better. Yeah, he stayed on top. Drove a ball to right field. He stayed on top. You know, he hit another ball nice to right field, but much better.
Do you know with James, you mentioned earlier about how if he keeps this approach going the opposite field, then the pulls will come. Is that kind of what you're referring to in terms of the homers and when he's able to do so?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, hey, he's got a great approach. Like I said, he tries to stay in the middle of the field, which is awesome. You know, when he does that, you know, good things happen.